Question: how do you define racism?
That's a snake with many heads. Racism is still alive and well in America.
I think racism always needs to be talked about, as long as it exists.
I define racism as unjust treatment of blacks by whites, primarily white men in positions of power.
You know, there's some people who say things who it's all subconscious, and then some people who it's conscious, but then you can't ever, like, nobody wants to own that. I feel like in our culture, being racist has like been painted as like the worst thing possible. It's like, if you are a racist, then you're a murderer, you're just like Hitler, you're just like a person who owns slaves, like you're brutal, you know. And so everybody's like, I'm not a racist, I'm not a racist, I'm not a racist, instead of like actually looking at the reality.
Yeah, it's a philosophy of, I suppose hatred is the best word, but a belief that black people were inferior, that black people were the other, and the practices that grew out of that philosophy.
Black people have been accused of being racist, but I always felt that racism came from people who were in power and who had power to enforce certain laws and practices. And recently we have started talking about white supremacy rather than racism to make that distinction.